Hello, dearest inspired podcast community. This is a solo episode with me, Caroline, talking about inspiration, of course, and what inspires me today that can inspire you tomorrow. And today I was inspired by so many things. I did 5 interviews for this podcast season 1. My plan is to release 88 episodes in season 1, and then we continue the same way with season 2. And it was not going according to plan. The plan was to record one solo episode and then have an interview. But it turned out that you are so inspired by my podcast that you want to do interviews with me on and on and on and on and all day long. And I'm so grateful for that because it is like a conversation between friends, between two friends, talking about inspiration and what inspires them, who inspires them, and how they inspire other people. And then we share our gifts and talents for the world and we promote our offers because everyone has something to give to the community and also to get back something, to receive, because giving is receiving. Giving is receiving, and we have to give first. You know that example with the fireplace, and you sit at the fireplace and you say, "Give me heat," but it doesn't work that way. First, you have to put the wood in order to receive heat, to receive something back. So, giving is receiving. That comes from Bob Proctor as well. He explains it in his famous and successful program, Thinking and Results. That was how I started my journey in the material. Of course, I came across The Secret as the book. I read the book in 2008, mm, but I think I have to step back further and introduce my coach. My first coach was the German money coach Bodo Schafer. For the ones of you who knows him. He learned everything he learned in the United States from his mentors. He had two famous mentors, and they told him exactly what to do in order to earn money, to save money, and to set up his programs, his teachings. And he wrote a famous book it was in the 1990s, but I wrote it in 2004 when it was my last year of studies at university of business economics, and I came across his book, The Path to Financial Freedom. Um, and I thought this is a really nice and wise guy, and I can learn from him. But coaching was not so developed at that time in Germany, let's say. It still doesn't have the same not value, the same value. Value, can one say? Yes, value, as it has in the United States. In the United States, it is natural or normal to get a coach and a mentor. And in Germany, you first have to explain what is a coach, what are you doing? Are you a spiritual coach, a business coach, a life coach? What are you coaching? So people are more skeptical. And yes, so I joined a coaching program for 1 year. mm, and with Bodo Schafer, and about money. It was all about money, but also the spiritual side. Um, in 2008, I think. And this is what I want to connect the two parts of this. So I bought a DVD course of Bodo Schafer, and this coaching program for 1 year was included, and it contained in weekly coaching letters. I'm not sure if there were, yeah, I think it was like a newsletter. It came by email every week, and it was an inspiring story. It says coaching letter. It was like a letter to me, so personal. I felt addressed, and it was one page, like a story, or a story of his life he was sharing, what helped him. And at the end, there were always two book recommendations. And the books, it was in October or November 28. The books in that coaching letter were The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and also The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And I purchased them both, and I studied them during when I was in hospital with my second son, Jacob. He was born in November 2008, and I and I finally got the time to read those books. I read it within 1 or 2 weeks, or I read them, both of them. I'm a really fast reader, and this is not because people are telling me, oh, if you read so fast, you cannot remember what you read. Yeah, this is true, but in the same year, in June 2008, I joined a course about speed reading. And it was an in-person event for, I think, 2 days, not 3 days. It was 2 days at a private university I was working for. Mm. And it was an excellent course with the teacher who taught us with several exercises during the whole day, how to read really, really fast. And that way you can read more books in the same time. And of course, now there are apps like Blinkist, if you know Blinkist, or other apps to help you, or you have this function of when you listen to audiobooks, you can increase the speed, and it goes into your subconscious mind. At that time in 2008, it was not possible yet. And I remember there are several books about speed reading, but the one book I started with was from Tony Buzan. I don't know how he's pronounced. We always said Buzan, Tony Buzan. And we loved that book so much, my partner and me, so that we booked this speed reading course. Unfortunately, he was not able to do the course because he was in a job interview in a city 400 miles away, and this was the city we finally moved to in the same year, so 2 months later, 3 months later. So it was all connected together, and I'm forever grateful for Bodo Schafer for introducing me to these books. And he had a whole book list of, I think, entirely like 100 books or so. We have also The Prophet or The Alchemist. I read The Alchemist as well. And then, so I allowed myself to participate in coachings, but there was a long period, like 12 years after that, when I was not involved into coaching. And then when COVID came, we all had more time to spend at home and with social media. And then I came across those beautiful coaches. I was open to sign up for coachings, and also to become a PGI consultant. So I was talking about the successful program Thinking into Results that I still teach. This comes from Bob Proctor and runs since 2009. He recorded it with his beautiful partner, Sandy Gallagher, from the Proctor Gallagher Institute. In 2009. And it contains every important message about the law of attraction, the law of vibration, how it works. And Bob understood like no one, like like for example Napoleon Hill, because he learned from Napoleon Hill and Earl Nightingale. He understood how to transport the messages that people understand, people like me, even like me, when my English was not, we say rudimentary, maybe rudimentary. I don't know if this word exists in English at all, but you can imagine if my English was not developed so much. I only had my school experience and of course from university, but you use English as written language. You study the texts, you study them at home, and then you have to um to repeat the content, or you have to memorize the content, of course, for the exam, and the exams are in German. And when I studied in France, this was a real challenge to speak English with French people, and you have these three languages in your head. And yeah, and I yeah, in when we had English lessons, we learned English with the French people. And when we did exercises, I always chose my German partner. I had one study buddy, Rebecca. Oh, Rebecca, I have to call you to invite you to my podcast. She's a world traveler. She did amazing. We both were in the finance industry after our studies. And yeah, I remember those times. So I am forever grateful for that, for the coachings. And now this, my message. Yeah, my message, what inspires me today? Mm, what inspires me today? With one word, or these are two words, my friends. One word, people. My friends. Because I'm forever grateful for Chris. Today I want to give a shout out to Chris Maverick. He will be on a podcast episode I'm looking forward to. Okay, Chris, he recommended to me to watch a movie, a Christmas movie, American Christmas movie called It's a Wonderful Life, with James Stewart as main character. And also the film is in black and white and from 1946. I don't dive into the story. You all know this movie because everyone knows this movie. I'm the only person on the planet, once again, who didn't know this movie, so I had to watch it. And I went to the movie theater on Friday, like 3 days ago. And one day later, they were playing that movie, and it is filmed in 35 millimeters. And this movie theater, the New Beverly Cinema, is specialized on 35 millimeter films. This is special. So I always love the history behind films, movie stories, characters, and movie theaters, of course. Because for me, it's about the location, special places I can visit, and I can feel the spirit of the people who were there watching the movies. And yeah, and famous people, for example, Quentin Tarantino. He promotes this New Beverly Cinema, and yeah, and there's a quote he's saying, for the rest of his life, he's taking care that this cinema is always showing 35 millimeter films. Okay. And then I was not able to watch this film in that movie theater because I was not inspired to watch it there. There were three good reasons. I had excuses and alibis not to go back to that movie theater. One reason is I want to visit different movie theaters. So I found another one um, in downtown LA, showing It's a Wonderful Life today. So I was in the movie theater, and this is a marvelous movie theater as well. And so there are no coincidences. No, it was meant to be that I watched that movie in the movie theater, and it had so many messages, inspiring messages for me, showing that I am on the right path, on my right path now with my podcast, sharing this information with you. It's all about inspiration. So if you are not inspired, or in other words, you better get inspired. Otherwise, you cannot do the work you are meant to do, if that makes sense. I think that makes sense. You are here for a reason and for a purpose to fulfill on earth, in your time and in your space, in your environment. You were set in that environment. You have a purpose there. And you are on that podcast listening to that episode, to this episode, for a reason. So it can be, I inspire you. You want to be coached and mentored by me, so reach out. The other reason can be, and there is no or, there's always an and. You can hop on an episode with me to get interviewed, to promote your services and offers and share your gifts and talents to the world. I would like to have you in my show. If you are listening to that, the requirements are quite simple. 15 minutes. The topic is inspiration. And you have to speak English with me. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's say the fourth criteria is courage. Be brave. Be brave. Even if you never done this before, this is your calling. This is your calling. I never did either. So what do we have to lose? We have to win. I create win-win situations for both of us. We can benefit, and the audience will benefit the most of it. Yes, you get two people, two inspired people on that podcast episode. You can be in my next one. Okay, reach out to me, Caroline. You find me on every social media platform. See you soon. Yours, joyful coach, Caroline. Take care. No one will. No one does. Take care of yourself. See you.